Hello folks, welcome back to the channel. I think I clicked on the wrong scene. I did, that's better. Hope everyone is having a good Wednesday so far. We're back, sort of. It'll be a shorter stream I think today, just like yesterday, just where I'm still battling this cold. So I'm going to take the advantage of being self-employed and have a chill day, I think. Zero, hello, how's it going? Cosmic, Dan, Moira, good to see you. Oh boo, thanks for the lurk. Jake Christ, kicking out the top 9. Realized I started the stream and I hadn't started Satisfactory, so I'm launching that in the background. And we are going to be jumping right back in. We were working on Ficsite Trigons, and we have them, I think, functioning, but it's not all that tidy. So I think we're going to try to decorate it up and maybe take a look at I think it's the south side of Devastator, just to kind of see what we can do. Zero, I'm feeling a little bit better. I sound worse than I feel, but I'm still not out of the woods. Dealing with some congestion and stuff. But the sinus headaches and like the real nastiness that was last Thursday through Sunday is behind me. But I do find I hit a wall at about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and it is now 1. So we'll probably get a couple hours in today. I need to get back into the swing. Like I can't take weeks off. I need to keep on going. So had a good stream yesterday. We were putting together the first bag of a gift from Cosmic Dancer, the retro radio Lego set, and that's gonna be pretty cool. And that's gonna be returning on Friday, and then on Fridays from now on until the set's done, we'll be doing the retro radio build for Lego Let's Chat Fridays. And I'm anticipating probably 5 to 6 weeks of that, maybe 5. We'll do 2 bags this week. That leaves 6 bags. I'm imagining that one of those weeks will probably be 2 bags in a row. So probably another 4 to 5 weeks, I guess, of that. So that'll be fun. There's also a new episode of the Spawn Chunks out this week, and some scheduling changes to the Citadel Cafe. Originally set to record tomorrow, but that's going to get pushed to next Thursday. Although that actually might not be the best time either. So Steven and I are going to have to bash heads on when we're going to record, because next Thursday we actually both have plans. So it'll be, yeah, we'll have to see. We'll have to see. It might be later on this month. Steven's just not available this week. And honestly, I'm probably still too sick to host a 2-hour podcast. So there's a lot more talking on a podcast than there is in the stream. So we'll have to see how that goes. Zero, so if someone sends you the Millennium Falcon at 7,500 pieces, we'll have a lot of content. Yes, you would have a lot of content. I might have Stern. there's a weird guilt that comes with gifts like the Millennium Falcon that are more than my rent. I shouldn't say they're more than my rent. It's not more than my rent, but it's close. it's yeah. I don't know. I really enjoy Lego. There's a good chunk of it that's overpriced. Every now and again, they come up with a set that's in like a good price to piece ratio, and I find it appealing, you know. And then where I can do it for content here on the channel, like I can kind of justify dropping, you know, $300 on a really cool Star Wars set. Like I'm looking at the TIE Interceptor. It sits on top of my computer. I think you can see it in the Spawn Chunks shot on the video version of the show. And of course, there's a Piranha Plant behind me. Actually, you know what? There's the box for the TIE Fighter, or the TIE Interceptor right there. And then Ecto 1 is somewhere else in the apartment. And unfortunately, the way that my setup works is that I have 2 desks. I've got my podcast editing desk, and then I've got my streaming desk. And most of the Lego is on this side. So you don't really get to see much Lego when you're looking at this, but I might try to put some sort of shelving unit in the corner here. This is hiding my old, like all of my shipping supplies. It's behind there. So I might try to put something there for display, because it would be cool to have more in the background. I also need to finish the sound panels across the back here. You'd love to build a Rivendell set. but the price. See, that's what I mean, right? Like the Rivendell set is cool, but is it like $800 cool? In Canada, Lego is more expensive. The US prices are a little bit more reasonable, but in Canada, it's all 30% more expensive. It's brutal. Yeah. And I have a hard time with like things like the Millennium Falcon. It's cool, but like I don't have anywhere to put it. I live in a small apartment, you know? That's the size of a coffee table. Like I'd have to build something specifically to house it. It's wild. So yeah, I don't know what I would do with that. I think though it would be very cool. You'd have to have the right amount of woodworking or engineering backgrounds, but the Millennium Falcon is, I mean, it's like a meter. It's huge. But I think the best place to display that would be vertically on the wall. Like I think if you mounted it on something like a plaque or some sort of like mounting hardware and then had maybe like LEDs around it or something, I think that would be really, really cool. Etho was on about the 30% on top. Yep. In some ways, it really benefits me. While we don't want the discrepancy between the Canadian dollar and the US dollar to be crazy, and we won't get into politics, but I get paid in American dollars because of Patreon. And with Twitch, actually, same thing. So, well, Twitch is now switched to Canadian, but it used to be American. But with Patreon, a lot of my income comes in from Americans and from the American dollar. And so when I translate that into the Canadian dollar, it actually goes 30% farther, which is great for me, which is one of the reasons I think I'm able to do this as often as I can. But, you know, it makes other things like Lego and Apple products and some things that are priced a little bit more reasonable in the States are a lot more expensive here. Yeah, you would not want to have that fall down. I agree. You also wouldn't want to bump it. Like you wouldn't want to put it in a hallway where you'd walk by. Like it's the kind of thing that would go over a couch. You know, well, maybe not over a couch. That sounds risky, but you'd have to make sure it was very secure. I agree. It's the kind of thing like you'd almost want to contact like either a Lego engineer or a very experienced builder. Say like, look, what do we really need to put this on for this to work? I would imagine there would be some screws and probably some custom pieces. Like you'd probably have to remove the landing gear and put something else in place to like hold the thing in place. So also the way that it's engineered from Lego, it's probably engineered to hold its weight like downward as a disc, not vertically as a disc. So I don't know. Anyway, it's going to work. There we go. That's what happens when you don't load the game before you start the stream. Would be epic to make it look like it's flying. Yeah, that would be cool too. I feel like I've seen it suspended. Not in the air, but like in a coffee table, but it was on like an angle. They had it like banking. This is cool. Something I saw on TikTok the other day was somebody went out and bought little models of all of the Star Wars fighters, X-Wing, Y-Wing, A-Wing, TIE Fighter, Millennium Falcon, Slave One from Boba Fett, and put it behind, like in front of a GoPro, and then mounted that whole thing to a little quadcopter drone, and was flying the drone around the neighborhood. Really cool. They found a drainage ditch and took the X-Wing down into the drainage ditch, and it looked like the trench on the Death Star at the end of A New Hope. It was really fun. So this is our Ficsite Trigon assembly line. These are the Ficsite ingots. The Trigons are being made sheepishly underneath the floor here. It's not the fanciest setup. I basically forgot about them and don't know what else to do with them right now, so that's what we're doing. What I need to do is figure out what's happening with the entrance to this place, because this is hot garbage and we need to move a bunch of stuff. So I think what we're going to do, we're going to move the hypertube. Easy stuff. Figure out where this power is going. Looks like it's just powering hypertubes. Alright, so we'll get rid of this for now. And go right to there. I feel like we will just utilize this space right here for the hypertube. It'll be a lot easier to set up now that we have nudging. Core hole and wall hole. I think that's probably okay. We may end up changing this, but I just need it to look nicer than it does. Now I was, I believe, going to cover this part up. I think the idea here was that this was going to get covered up. Yeah, this is where it all turns. What are these holding up? Anything specific? Yeah, let's get rid of these. Oh, you're not going to reach. Now from here, we should be able to just go around the corner. And it was connected to the top. So these pipes are going to have to move too. I think we're going to have to try to move these inside the wall. Shouldn't be too hard. I may also want to have them a little bit higher. I want the outside to be higher. So a lot of the times what we've been doing is we've been putting in these kind of like doors and frames and things outside the factories. And granted, we're inside now, like this is supposed to be an inside space. I feel like what I should do though is figure out what we're going to be coating the walls in. Actually, these might end up being more this kind of thing. Yeah, if I can find the TikTok of that video, I'll put it in the Discord. It was pretty cool. So I do feel like I want to have this be higher. I think I want this door to be kind of like this size. Right? This is still the ceiling, but I feel like we could have like a ramp opening up here. So these pipes are going to have to move, and they're going to have to go at this height, I think. What I get for not planning this area out sooner. Once we get over to here, we're okay. Why can't I connect that to a pipe? Oh, is that a hypertube thing? That's a hypertube wall support. I was like, why are they white? Oh, I grabbed the wrong thing. Should have clued in when they opened up. And you know, it's too bad that you can't use them for both. I'm kind of surprised that you can't just use the same thing. Got 3 pipes coming in there. We'll just kind of move them over here. Same idea. I think that's the right height. Maybe not. Okay, so now to get from here up to there. This is all water for aluminum. I guess we'll just do one at a time. I can't believe that looks like it actually works. And then this will just replace this one here. So then everything here can get deleted. This setup is old. We've had this going for a while. Cleaner. I'm not sure what the formula is to get this to look right. 1, 2, 3, 4 maybe. Nope. Sorry if it's a bit of a quiet stream today, folks. I'm trying to do my best to keep streaming, but rest the voice a little bit because of being sick for a while. Any plans on finishing Project Assembly? Oh yeah, no, absolutely. I definitely want to do that. Eventually I want to move the space elevator somewhere. I think we're going to put the space elevator somewhere out here. I think it would make sense to maybe put it out there. I've not seen the ending either, no. I'm hoping that the game doesn't like end and that you can still continue to build and do stuff. Because I can see myself finishing Project Assembly before I finish the build, you know? I really like these unpainted pipes. I think they look cool. And that's not quite what I wanted there, but... I guess they look right. I'm just going to double check that the water is going where it needs to go. Yep. I'm going to leave this yellow for now. Alright, so that will allow us to have something in here. I didn't quite make that high enough. I might have to overlap this with some hidden blocks. I'm not sure if that's enough of a slope for me. That feels a little bit better. Now here, I feel like I want to have... Well, that's supposed to be stairs? Yeah, that's not going to work. Crap. Alright, these are all going to be unpowered here. Yeah, I didn't really think about what this was going to be like when we came in. That's one of the main power conduits going down that way, right? I would think that it would be like Minecraft, that when you finish the mission, you can keep going and building and doing stuff in the world that you built. Yeah, I think so too. I think so too. So I haven't really thought about the backside of this either, other than just like the depth of these tunnels. I feel like they look good from the front. $2 meter. I don't remember what I have on the other side here on the floor. I think it's just concrete. I don't know if I've decided on what I want to do with this. Oh, yeah, okay. Concrete, but with like a carbon steel pattern, I guess. Need more concrete. If it does end, you can always just back. Yeah, you save the game before you do the final submission. I think so too. That's what I would do. Yeah, I'm not sure if we're even going to use this stuff. Like, I feel like this makes sense to maintain, but I feel like we could just maybe even go straight across here, save myself some work. That would give me this area for the depth of the door, which I like. So that is obviously going to have to go down somewhere. Hmm. What is going to be the better way to do this? I'm not sure if I want stairs or if I want a ramp. I feel like a ramp would probably be better. Ramp would be easier to decorate, that's for sure. Well, I guess we could still use, like, triangle walls and stuff. I don't know. I've never used like the small foundations either. We could do a half ramp. Oh, that doesn't work. Crap. Yeah, I kind of like that. What is going on? And then we can go up over the top as well. Starting to get there. This comes up. I think I'd rather have that be up a little bit higher. Yeah. MindTripMedia with 100 bits. Hello, thanks very much. Oh, that doesn't work there. We'll have to scoot around that. That's fine. We'll move that in a minute. Yeah, that does complicate things a little bit. I really might have to move these Trigon things. I could take them down a little bit. Again, MindTrip, thanks ever so much for the 100 bits. I need to sort this out too. Maybe that's what I should do next, is get rid of this garbage trench. Really causing some issues. I'm pretty sure the only thing on it is quartz. Looks like these top two. Yeah. So these need to go out to the main bus somehow and connect up to something that's going to have enough room for whatever this is dealing with as far as numbers. And I think I saw some counters down here. We'll call it 400. And we'll see how much is on this one. In the meantime, I need to look at my main bus map. $15 and $16, or maybe $6. No, because that's good. 7 and 8 should be fine because that's the raw quartz coming in. So 7 and 8 should be the target. And that's the bottom two on the second row. And it looks like we've got a little over 400 there and about 90 there. So call it 550. Oh geez, that we had the numbers right here. And we need to go to 7 and 8. Well, 7 and 8 are occupied now. Okay, so I don't have a note of what's on 7 and 8. I should change that. That's pretty empty. I just don't have enough lanes to have a dedicated lane for everything. So after the coal, if I wanted to skip them around, I could bring them up here to five and 6. I'd just put them all on 5. That would look cool too, because quartz crystals are kind of a cool looking thing. Actually, you know what? Number 1 is also free too. Do that. Let's go for 1. It has to be on the other side of all that. A little bit of a trek. So it has to go out here. Yeah. Well, that's not a problem. We can utilize what's already up here. It's kind of going up there. So I'll just turn everything into that one. And then coming out of here, we'll just combine them. That's all going to go in there. Stay on the ceiling here, and then we'll just corner it once I hook it up. should be pretty easy. A little cheaty, but I'll take it. Alright, so that puts quartz crystal up there. Make sure that that's getting destroyed. And we got nothing else coming up in here. Funny enough, they're actually going on to the same belt that they were going on before. Nice. Okay. So that's good. The great belt restructuring. Yeah, no kidding, right? It is fun to be in here. Like, it's kind of cool to look back and see how much we've actually made. And the fact that I can make sense of it most of the time is actually pretty fun, too. Lots of coal for a later day. What are we doing for light? Whoop. It is pretty dense in here, though. That's the only thing. This part stays. I can probably get rid of this. The temporary solution that we needed at the time, but we've outgrown it. The idea of having a garbage chute is still a good one. I just don't know if that was the best way to implement it. Putting it somewhere between your building and the main bus was a bad idea. Like you'd want to have it like under the main bus or on the outside, like on the back of the building maybe. Nice. Much cleaner. And I feel like we can probably just move these somewheres down here. We've decided to put these, we decided to hide these in this space. So I feel like we could probably bring these down here, which would solve a lot of my wiring problems up there. I think that's probably a good idea. It'll change the way things are decorated on the inside, but I think I'm okay with that. So I'm going to do that after the break, because I need to take a break here. See some daylight. And get on a break train. We're getting there. Yeah, Cosmic, thank you very much. Folks, if you're new to the channel, I take a break once an hour, and normally I wait until it's dark, but I really need to stick to these today, so I will be back in about 5 or 7 minutes. The frame rate is low today. Hey, the Nookie, how's it going? Welcome back. That's the wrong thing. I'm not sure. I feel like that's probably okay. We'll have to come up with some other way of defining the interior space here. These train tracks are going to have to get an overhaul too. I was thinking it would be good to have trains on this side as well. But that would mean going right over the top of this. I'm not really sure about that. I think the thing would be to have, instead of several tracks coming off here, like 1, 2, 3, we'd have to have just one exchange, and then everything would branch off of that. That's probably the better way to do it. Low says, I'm at the stage of the game tier 8 where I need to rethink my logistics setup. Up to the point I had many small factories which were outputting to an industrial storage container with overflow getting sunk. For things like computers and heavy modular frames, I transported the required items by hand. Now I'm starting to build a train network, and I'm wondering if trains with a single freight car and I have only single product factories are the way to go. Yeah, I mean, having lots of trains on the go is probably the easiest. You might need more than a single freight car, though, depending on how far the train is going. Your throughput might require more than one freight car. Does that make sense? Alright, so I'm going to move these Trigon things. I've decided that this is hot garbage. They are pretty basic. Should be pretty easy to do. What we need to do is have them in this space here. Actually, we can use this space too. So we've got 4 of those. And we've got the inputs are here. We could still do the cool tower thing on the outside and bring them across the ceiling. If I wanted to have this centerpiece here, we could still do this part. That's fine. I would say we'll just have them probably face that way. Or maybe we'll have them face this way. So we've got 2 separate things of ingots. I could even take those higher if I wanted to. Am I healthy again, the Nookie? No, unfortunately I'm not. It's now been a solid week. I'm on the mend. I'm a lot better than I was, but it's still not a fun experience. I might want to put that up there. I should just make myself a door for now. So we'll do 1 and 2. Now this one should be pretty straightforward. And this one should be the same thing. I guess all of this could be 1 meters. To figure out where we're going to bring the power in. These guys have got power from somewhere. I guess I could just line it up on the back there. all behind the scenes anyway. That's the Trigons, and then we just have to do the output, and that's going to be, I think, something we can just attach to that. Easy enough. Right now, these are all going outside into the main room and then coming back down, which I don't want to do. We'll just use this. I don't exactly know what we need for a belt there. 120? No, 45. Mark 3. I don't know why this game still auto-rotates this stuff. Like, you'd think that they would have heard players and said, like, hey, stop changing the thing that I want to put down. Okay, so now we have to do is cut the line here. And then these guys will eventually stop. And the new ones will take over. Apparently they said in a video that the way that these work, these wall holes, these guys, that it's not intentional, so that we should be able to go through them and stuff in the future. It's good. I'll just wait for those to finish out. So that means all of this is going to be different in terms of how we get the power over there. We can probably still have this hole here, but we'll be able to utilize probably this connection here. I really wish there was a better way to get wiring around. Molly Strawberry, hello, welcome back. Nookie, thank you very much. Yeah, it's not been fun. Like, I haven't been able to see family or friends or anybody just because I've been so sick, and you want to be responsible and not spread it around, and been gross. I'm not sure whether to leave this as like a window. Be kind of fun. Okay, it looks like it doesn't really have much of a frame. I wonder if we could have a better window. It's a little bit better. Are we done with these yet? Not quite. Oh, you guys are done. Makes me wonder whether these are going to be doing these evenly. Why is there a backlog here? Oh, that's why. Still, they should have been all roughly the same. Okay, so now that we've got that done, I can probably get rid of this. which means this is all free and clear. That's hidden inside of there. If I wanted to do another one of these here. That looks cool. Doesn't affect the outside. But then here we've got to do something about that blue pipe. Yeah, this just doesn't feel quite the way that I want. I maybe want to, maybe I want to lower this. And then I could, oh no, that doesn't work either. Oh, wait a minute, what if we did stairs? That doesn't work. Feel like that's a little steep. I feel like I did something similar over here, but it's not quite as dramatic. That's a 2 meter, and then it's got offshoots that way. Okay. Could we do that here? No, because I don't have the extra room. Well, I do actually. I guess I could just extend that out. I think that's a better view. We just have to move that then. think that works out better. But one of the buttons I keep on pressing is triggering something on the system. I'm not exactly sure what it is. That will give us kind of like an idea of what kind of pattern we want to make over here. I like that that's a different angle now too. That this has got a different angle than that. How do we want to handle that? That's a little bit different. Nah, I'm not crazy about that. It's probably the cleanest way to do it. We are definitely going to need something in here though. Okay, starting to feel pretty good. This feels a little bit empty. Cool. So I think what I would want to do here is figure out what we're going to do for lighting. And then build the ceiling around it. I can sort of see maybe something in this space. I know, I feel like I want to continue, like this ridge could go along here somehow. Maybe have lighting going down the wall. Yeah, I can sort of see that as like a ceiling support. Where does that come in over here? That would line up like that. Give some interesting bulk. And then I wonder if one of those lights would fit in here. Yeah, and then we could hide the node. That actually works out pretty well. Now if I connected these together, can't see it. And then we could run the electricity for it on top somehow. Yeah. I guess I could have ran that farther back. That would have been smarter. That's two. Where's the third one? Oh, way over here. Did I space those evenly? No, I didn't, did I? No. Oh, these are already connected. Right. Tight space. Now we just have to get power to that from somewhere else. Could do it here. Generally, I try to have the power come into the building all from one spot, so maybe what we'll do is we'll bring it up from here. Yeah, that's doable. That's probably going to be hidden. So we'll do it here. And unfortunately, these things kick up a stink when you have them on the same circuit as the machines. So we have to put our color controller somewhere above all of this. We could hide the color controller in here, couldn't we? Always a little bit strange, but I have to run this from here. Purple lights. A little bit too bright, and I don't know, we may want to change what they're like, but let's go with something a lot tamer. It kind of competes with the matter converter. I'm not sure if I like that. Oh, 10 is the lowest you can go. Maybe orange? I don't know. I wasn't anticipating being able to see them. It's probably the least offensive. Looks very Star Wars Empire. And this one I think we're going to move to be centered over the door. And then we should be able to go ahead and close this up. It looks okay. We might want to add more, but for now I think it looks all right. That I feel like needs some sort of highlight maybe, although that might not look that good. Oh, you can't see it. Sweet. Like the idea of having some sort of like border here. Thanks, Cosmic. Appreciate it. I don't know about that. Maybe we'll go a little bit thinner. But right. Now, whether or not that's going to be silver, it's probably going to be more purple or something. Although that doesn't look too bad. I would probably go ahead and change this to that means that these are going to have to change. That's fine. It's not the end of the world, but we're getting there. We're getting there. So I think that's a much tighter way to handle both the inside of this facility, but then also handling the Trigons. It's a little bit strange that we're not showcasing that we're building these Trigons. I feel like it's a little bit odd. So this may change again in future. But for now, we've got them going onto the bus. A lot of things are going here. This is not getting what it needs, so there's obviously some sort of slowdown somewhere. Don't know what that could be. We'll have to figure out why we're not producing at capacity. And that would be why. Something is up there. Right, well, mental note. I have to fix that. Right on. Well, that's where I'm going to wrap things up for today, folks. I need to give myself a decent break here. So let's go see if we can find someone streaming Satisfactory. Total Eclipse is live. We'll send you all over to Total Eclipse. Once again, folks, thanks very much for hanging out today. I appreciate your patience as I'm getting back on track with my health and this stupid cold that just will not die. I'm going to go and give myself a good rest for the rest of the afternoon. I'm going to try to be back tomorrow. I might want to take the day off tomorrow and then come back on Friday for Lego. So I will post on Twitter, depending on what's going on. And I will let you all know in the Discord as well. Follow me on social media at Joel Duggan, very easy to find, and check out things like the Spawn Chunks podcast and the Citadel Cafe podcast. They're both free and they're available wherever you get your favorite podcasts. I'm going to have to raid and run, so give Total my best, and we'll see you all either tomorrow or Friday. Bye for now.